begin. We have a turn 1 Dark Beckoning Beast searching for the opening of the Spirit Gates. Do note, no Yubel. No Yubel in sight. We did not get Yubel in. Now, without Yubel, this was a Dark Beckoning. I mean, we had a Shavara plus a set card. It wasn't just a single play of the Dark Beckoning, just so you note that. So 2 monster negates to the Apollo, 2 special summon negates to the Wave King Caesar, an impermanence negate a monster, plus backed up by a Maxi, and we do have the chamber to reborn the Soul of Rage, which can turn into 3 extra disruptions, as it links with a special summon monster, then banishes a monster, then banishes another monster. That is 8 disruption from the Dark Beckoning Beast. Maxi it up. We're gonna triple Tactics Thrust into our hand, the talent, but it's not activatable. There has to be a monster effect activated within the main phase. So we would maybe want to wait with the Thrust instead of revealing that we have talent. We're going to summon a Banshee. To battle we go. Big enough to take out an Apollo USA. What the heck was that? We're now down to 6 disruption as we go into our Typhon. Typhon is not a trigger effect, not a quick effect, so we have all the time in the world to reborn the Soul of Rage if we'd like, which we're not going to. We're going to Typhon, activate, spin a card back, imperm, negate, as we're now down to 5 disruption. Necroworld Banshee with the quick effect to play a field spell, which will be our zombie world. Everything is now a zombie on the field and in the grave. What does that mean for Yubel? The Light Fiend monsters in the grave, you can't, you're not gonna be able to summon a sequence because they're zombies. You can't summon a Fiendsmith Requiem. You can't be making, what else is requiring? Phantom of Yubel can't be summoned because it requires, well, if you use your hand, it can, because the Fiend has to be a Fiend on the field, grave, or hand to summon the Phantom of Yubel. And the zombie world will only affect the field and grave. What is good as we activate the chamber, reborn the Soul of Rage, which no longer has the effect to link off with the Typhon, as we make a Little Knight. So many cards to banish here. The Typhon is a mini Floodgate, 3,000 attack or higher, cannot activate, but maybe we want to go for that zombie world. And also the Engraver can't reborn from the graveyard if it doesn't have a Light Fiend to return back into the deck. We're going to use the Grave Squirmer, which normally summons from the grave, had to summon from the hand because otherwise we don't meet the requirement. It has to be a Fiend. What? Hold up, huh? Timed out. Zombie World caused a timeout. Zombie World broke our brain of the random Fiend requirements. Holy moly. Let's hop into game number 2. We are going first, and we got to play through an Imperm. Big consideration should be going towards Dark World No More and Droplet potentially. What is this? Well, Dark World No More, that's what it is. So looking at this field, we had triple monster negate anything, negate a monster, plus negate 2 special summons. That's 7 disruption. And it's all gone to Dark Ruler. How do we stop this? We can't. What you could have done is if they Dark Ruler, you chain Called By to a monster in grave, which there is none, and then you would Desiree chain to your Called By to negate the Dark Ruler No More. Is there nothing? There's nothing we could do. Holy crap. What the? 7 disruptions to 0. Board breakers are back. Wow. Ain't no way. We got a Stellar summoning a Sylvie on summon, searching for a White Forest spell or trap. Toy Soldier reborning itself from Engrave. We got Tales of the White Forest to grab any White Forest monster we want, as we also have a toy box to fully supplement our White Forest cards with, as we summon a Rusilla. Priscilla on summon will discard the spell to add the Rusia, which will trigger the Stellar Engrave to Reborn. Chainlink blocking with the tails to set itself into the back row. Finger the Stellar, no Reborn for you. Just like that, be gone. Rusia could send a spell trap card to draw a card. Now, the thrust is not activatable. No monster effects from the opponent were activated. Rusia come forth in special while we control a white forest as we turn a 6 plus a 4 into our Baron de Fleur, wipe out the Phantom of Yubel as we toy box further set up a toy tank and toy soldier into our back row. Now we're going to use Rusia to send the toy tank to draw randomly into a Deception of Sinful Spoils as the toy tank reborns itself as the tails search our deck for an Elzette. Elzette is a hard Ash. She eats your Ash all day. You want to negate that as it searches for the Elzette Azamina, which then special summons herself, and only if used for synchroing does she also search your deck. Immortal Dragon, what the heck is that? I forgot what this deck was. This is Eldlich, White Forest? What are we watching? As the Azamina Elzette searches specifically for the Wanted Seeker, Immortal Dragon sends an Eldlich the Golden Lord from the deck to the grave. We now make a Diabel Queen of the White Forest, add back an Impermanence back to our hand. Now we have Deception of Sinful. It must tribute a monster. We cannot tribute a spell or trap, unfortunately, as we grab the Hallowed Azamina Fusion spell. You do want to chain Wanted Seeker to its activation to send it to the graveyard on resolution, so you still get to grab a Diablo Star from your deck and perform your Fusion Summon. As we fuse into the Rasalago. Rasalago will further search for an Azamina or Sinful Spoils card, similar in a way to Diablo Star. We're going to be grabbing the Sinful Spoils Slumber, which flips a monster on the field face down. Now, Azamina Elzette can be returned back, or the Fusion, to refusion summon another body as it's activatable more than once per turn. And just like that, the Sylvia is an Omni Negate. What do we want to negate? We want to negate the Spirit of Yubel activating from the hand on a declared attack. Now, the Little Knight on summon is going to be banishing away the Nightmare Pain as we now summon Eldlich, the Golden Lord, at 3,500 attack by sending the Sinful Spoils of Slumber to the graveyard, which triggers its effect to send itself onto the field as we attack and not use Sylvia nor Baron de Fleur to negate. We just allow it to get summoned mate. Varadras, Damage Step. If destroyed, destroy a card in the field. Can we Sylvia that, which is an Omni Negate? No way. This is not an activation negate. It can only be activated outside of the damage step, but the Baron de Fleur can negate the activation. You will not be destroying. Negate. Nicely done. As we further take out the Apollo USA, it's worth noting we could not attack directly this turn. So not negating the Spirit of Yubel could have been for that reason why we didn't care to do so. We're going to Sinful Deception, return itself back onto the field if it was sent to the grave all face up this turn, as we now start off our turn with a Chamber. But what are we playing against here? Baron de Fleur negate, Sylvia negate, banish with the Little Knight mate, flip a special summon monster face down, Imperm negate a monster. Let's go. We're going to summon a Phantom of Yubel. We're going to use the Slumber to flip that Phantom of Yubel face down with 4 more disruptions left. We're going to Eldlich of Sanguine. What is this turning into? I don't think this turns into a disruption. We're going to Imperm, negate the Soul of Rage. Bro, I'm not doing anything. Soul of Rage has no effect on your own turn. Like, literally no effect. But we're negating it. Or we're negating the Spirit Gates. Is that why we did that? I don't really know. Yeah, maybe we wanted to negate the Spirit Gates. Okay, sure. Necroworld Banshee setting up the zombie world. Now, we are going to use Sylvia to negate that triple tactics talent. Mate, negate. What do we have left? We have the Baron de Fleur still, right? And we had Little Knight. It's now gone. He's still scooping. It's too much. It's too much. We're out of here. Wow. Starting off with a Stellar. Stellar is one of the best openers as we discard a Woes to summon a Sylvie. Sylvie's going to get Chain Link blocked, but not from an Imperm or Veiler. What the heck? You sent 2 cards for a card I've not seen before. What is this? Saint as a freaking Mina? What is this? The Trap Tricks Evolved? Your opponent cannot target cards in their field. Wait, your opponent can't target their own cards or their own graveyard or their own banishment or this card with card effects. That's okay, like the opposite of you can't target me, you can't target yourself. Your opponent takes any battle damage you have taken. If this card was fusion summoned, this turn only, you could special summon a level 9 or lower Azamina from your deck or extra deck. What the? Saint Azamina summoning this Sylvia, Omni negates. The Sinful Spell is Awakening, recycling itself. Deception is also recycling itself. Let's try to figure out our disruptions here. We have negate anything with reframing, negate anything with Baron to Floor, negate anything with Sylvia, flip the entire opposing field face down with a Diabel. We have the Woes, which could flip the entire field again. And then, is this a disruption? What the heck is this? I've never seen this. If your opponent controls 3 or more monsters and you control level 5 or higher illusion, target up to 3 cards your opponent controls, return them to the hand. Another form of disruption. Okay, so 6 disruption is what I am counting as our final disrupt, right? And then on top of that, I don't know if we'd even call this a floodgate. You can't target yourself. What's targeting? What are we targeting? Forbidden. Droplet. Negate the Saint Azamina and the Sylvia. We now drop down to 4 disruption. We're going to call with the Grave, finger the Engraver from searching for the tract and also disallowing its further special summon from Engrave. Not today. Banish. Sure. Now, let's see what we follow up with. Sanginjin, Wakes of the Millennium, reborning itself in the back row, searching for a Golem of the Guards. The Golem that guards, equipping itself in the back row, special summoning at the cost of 2,000 life to search for the Wedju Temple. To battle we go, big enough to take out the halved attack Sylvia and Baron to Floor, sure. And then we end our turn. We end the duel, actually. We don't end our turn. Duel has been ended. We're going to Emblema Oath set up into our field zone the Stand-Up Centurion. With the Stand-Up Centurion, only the turn it's activated, we could set up a Centurion into our back row. We got Trudea. We are going to be using the Golden Rule to summon a Pegasus, equip 2 cards in the back row. We're going to use the Snake Eye Doom Dragon to put 2 of our back row cards in grave to special summon, to also trigger the Cross Sheep, to also... Is this mandatory? If special summoned, you can optionally put your Pegasus in the back row, and we want to do that? Okay, we wanted to do it. Because we got Carbuncle. Carbuncle's going to summon our entire back row back after being summoned through the effect of the Cross Sheep, which was triggered by the Doom Dragon. Gallant Granite. This usually searches for like a Fossil Dyna play, right? No, in this deck it's Millennium. Searching for the Golem that guards the Millennium treasures. As we are now going into Fiend. I think you all understand why you need 3 to 4 hand traps in your opening hands now, right? Requiem off of the Closed Moon because it gives us the Light Fiend requirement as we now summon an Engraver from the deck. And now we're going to use the Golem that guards to equip itself in the back row, then summon itself to search for the Wedju Temple. And now we're going to turn the Golem and the Engraver, the Golem's a level freaking 6, into Beatrice. Send any card we want from the deck to the grave, which will be the Rainbow Bridge to search for any field spell. What field spell do we want? You don't have the Spellcaster Village anymore. The Kaiju Waterfront? But we also have the Wedju Temple. We have how many field spells in this deck? 3? As we use the Wedju Temple to set up the Sangin summoning itself in the background to be searching for the Shield of Millennium. As we turn our field into a Saryuja to draw 4, then return 3 cards back. Yup, draw 4, return back the Shield Bearer, Ash Blossom, and Diablo Star. The Waterfront's gonna be searching for the Gamma Seal, and what's balanced about Gamma Seal is it's only summonable if your opponent controls a Kaiju, right? So, because otherwise the effect is insane. It has the ability to remove 2 Kaiju counters to negate and banish, but the freaking Saryuja just special summons it out for free. So we subvert that downside for double Omni Negate. And it generally turns into 3 within a turn because in order to gain Kaiju counters, A card just has to be sent from the field to the grave, and then we gain that counters. And that is why this card is banishing and not destroying. Otherwise, it would be self-supplying itself with endless counters. And, I mean, this is literally a kaiju, right? Look at the freaking helicopters and stuff. What the heck? Let's see what we have from here. We have Wanted Seeker searching for a Diablo Star that we returned back in the deck. We're going to send back our Cobalt Eagle. Good on Hachi for not surrendering yet. There's no way you could win this, right? As we set up an original Sinful into our back row through the effect of the Diablo Star, as we now make a Masquerena, ready to link off during the opponent's turn into a Little Knight play. Engraver, return back the Closed Moon, reborning itself. What do we have here? We're further turning this into an Apollo USA. Sure. As we Millennium Shield, which then searches for an Ankh. The Ankh is no good, right? The Ankh would return our entire field back, so we don't do that. I guess we just have this to be used with the Masquerena. Now, what are our forms of disruption? We got a lot. We have 2 negate and banishes with the turtle, which will very likely turn into a third if a single monster on the field is sent to the grave, which the Masquerena would fulfill that requirement. So I'll just call it triple Omni Negate plus triple Monster Negate with the Apollo plus an Omni Negate in the back row with the Crystal Miracle plus an Ash Blossom and a Little Knight Banish and a Little Knight Banish. Do we only have 10 disruption? I think so. Only 10 after all of that versus a 5-card hand. Let's see what's good. Battle phase, evenly match, attempt to banish the entire field. Gamma Seal, negate, and banish. 9 disruptions left. Okay, we surely can do this, right? We have Deception of the Sinful Spoils. Masquerena is going to be adding more counters to the waterfront. And just like that, we now have our additional negate with the Gamma Seal, which I already accounted for, as the Little Knight on summon will be banishing away the Deception Sinful. Now, only the second effect of Deception Sinful is a hard once per turn. You can activate multiple copies. We have a Stellar, which is going to... what made you think you could actually go through with this play? You didn't think so. You're just trying your best. That's fine. Negate and banish with the Gamma Seal. 8 disruptions left. Woes of the White... Bro, no way, Society. Are you really, like, you're gonna waste one of your 8 disruptions, your limited disrupt on a Woes, adding itself back to the field, now down to 7? Damn, that was dirty. That's almost a DQ for BM. What do you think, GM? Stellar, discard Woes. Whoa, we did not negate? That's crazy. I feel like that's a good negate, no? Huh? We have flip the field face down, flip the field face down, return up to 3 cards back to the hand, imperm, negate a monster, negate anything with the reframing. We have Sylvia, negate anything, Ash Blossom, negate an interaction with the deck. That's 7 disruption plus a maxi, right? I made sure we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yup, and maxi. Okay. Primera, negate. No search for you, and nothing to finger. Well, now, and even if you finger something good of value, the Sylvia or the reframing will negate. Emblema Oath will be setting up the field spell that we were attempting to search for anyway. Activate the field spell to discard to set up into the back row our Trudea. Trudea is going to be met with the response of a Diabel, turning off one of our disruption by getting rid of the Woes, as we also chain our Maxi. Call by the Grave attempting to finger that Maxi so that they do not draw per special summon, and we allow it. We do not negate the finger, allowing our C to get fingered as the Diabel summons likely a Silvera. So what would happen here? If you were to trigger your stand-up Centurion in the same chain as Silvera, will Silvera stop the synchro, or will the chain link order get messed up in a way where we still perform the synchro to counteract the Silvera? Well, what happens is, since we are the turn player, the trigger effect will be on the lower chain link. Silvera being on the higher chain link is going to flip their field face down, and then the synchro is going to fizzle. Nothing to synchro with, if that's what we wanted to do, which we passed on it. We didn't even activate it. We have the LZ of the White Forest triggering to add back, a Stellar reborning, Woe setting itself in the back row. Damn. Endless plussing, huh? I do think White Forest is being slept on a bit. I do think Snake Eye Fiendsmith is better, but how much better? Because this deck is nuts. This is crazy. Holy moly. Thank you to both of you. Thank you, Societia. You were amazing with your deck. Had a lot of fun watching you game seal it up. Let's hop into another one. Start this off with the Special Summon Terror Top. Oh, shoot. We have the Eldlich Golden Lord. Hard drawn off the top of the deck. You send this card plus another card in your hand to target a card in the field and send it to the grave. We're forced to negate, right? Negate with the Salamangreat Great Roar. Now, we do have Promethean Princess on a special summon. There's a big problem, though. If the Eldlich summons itself from the graveyard, which it adds back to the hand first, it's indestructible by card effect. So we're going to use the Promethean Princess instead onto the Diablo Star. And you just turned on my thrust. So we will now get thrusting off of that as you used a monster effect in the main phase to either take control or draw two. I don't think we're going to look at the hand for a single Ash, are we? We went for that draw too. We want more plays, and we're not done. We do have the Eldlich Golden Lord, which, yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to send it. Yeah, first flip it up, send it, and then add it, then 3,500. Not big enough for the Raging Phoenix, but we could take out Promethean before the next turn it's able to reborn a fire monster. Nicely done. Indestructible by card effects. Ooh, we Typhoning? Yes, we are. Typhon, MP2, return back the Raging Phoenix. Be gone. Do you play 3 of these? I guess you're just playing 2. If you had a third one and leaving it up would have been a big problem, yes? We do have, oh my Jesus. We are setting up the back row with the Scarlet Sanguine. Scarlet Sanguine can summon a zombie. Oh my god. Terror Top of the top, but we only play 1 take Tomborg. Wow, I mean, we went first and Eldlich won going second. 60 card though, so it's a mishmash of everything. Very interesting. Now, we do have side deck in today's event. Are we prepared for a random 60 card deck like this? What would we side deck into? Salamangreat Great Circle, come to us. Salamangreat Great of Fire to lock us into fire monsters only as we grab the Gazelle. We're going to link off the Salamangreat Great of Fire into a Balinx, triggering the effect to search for a field spell and the Gazelle to summon from the hand to then send a monster from the deck to the grave, which will be a Spinny. Also, we're going to be using the Weasel to summon a body onto their field, plus draw a card. Thank you for Twin Twister in the side deck. You what, mate? Wow, okay. And we're going to trigger Promethean Princess. Promethean popping that Spinny. We didn't use Balinx to protect our Raging Phoenix from being destroyed, interestingly, because we just trigger Raging Phoenix to some deck anyway. We don't have to waste the Balinx. All right, what is this? Droll could stop them from further adding after they add. You could finger an Eldlich Engrave for this matchup. I'm going to count this as a disruption, even though I sometimes do not. We have the Roar to negate anything, Imperm to negate 2 monsters on the field. That's 5 disruption plus Promethean is on the field. Can we get Promethean in the grave some way? It does not look like it, so I won't count as a disruption. Do we count the Twin Twister as a form of disruption against this deck? I won't, but do note that it's there. We're going to send our Zombie World away to summon our Diablo Star against 5 Disrupt, Imperm, Negate. We're going to Forbidden Droplet, dodge the Impermanence. Okay, now, negating something on the field here does nothing. Just leaving the field to dodge the Impermanence, that was what was needed to then set up the Deception Sinful Spoil. Now, a great question here is, should you wait for the activation of the second effect of the Deception and Sinful Spoils where they have to tribute a monster, thus they lose that card that they tribute plus the card itself when you want to negate with the Salamangreat Great Roar? That would be ideal at your locals. Now, in Master Duel, you can't do that. You have to negate the activation of the card on the flip or from the hand. Otherwise, you can't negate the second effect through something like a Salamangreat Great Roar. But we got Twin Twister. Up to 2 spell and trap cards, we can destroy it in response to the activation of the discard. Is that what we're doing? I think so. Yep, Kit Twin Twister in. So Twin Twister did turn out to be a good form of disruption, actually. And with this being a disruption, I want you all to be thinking about Ghost Ogre. Ghost Ogre to stop this card. Now, who's not playing this card that's a top tier deck? Yubel. Does Yubel also get hit by Ghost Ogre? You betcha. Hit the Nightmare Pain, hit the Spirit Gates, hit the Deception, Sinful Spoil. Also, the Desiree, the brand new Fiendsmith Link, fusion that is. If on resolution it's not on the field, thus it has no Link monsters equipped to it, it negates nothing. So the Ogre, also, what is ever so popular since the new release of these cards? Apollo USA, and Apollo's generally not being made with Masquerena. You Ogre and Apollo, it not only gets rid of it, it doesn't negate what it was trying to negate. So maybe Ogre stocks are up. Say goodbye to Deception, or at least in today's event, maybe at least the side deck will see it. 1 in 1. Let's go. Toy box as we set up the toy soldier and a toy tank from anywhere. Okay, well, so we have the Conquistador, which will be able to, if you control a Golden Lord on summon, non-target destroy any face-up card the opponent controls. Diabel, in response to a card effect activation, can summon a Silvera to flip the opposing field face down. We also have Engrave the Black Goat Laughs, which you have to be very careful in using this. In Grave, we could banish, declare a monster card name. Neither player can activate the effects of that monster. If the monster has a trigger effect on summon, you can't stop it. You have to activate it preemptively. But let's say a card like Gazelle. If Gazelle activates in hand, you declare Black Goat Laughs, then Gazelle hits the field, it then would not be able to activate the other effect of sending from the deck to the grave. Or you could telegraph that you're about to activate the effect of Raging Phoenix, right? On the first Raging Phoenix, declare that Black Goat Laughs, and then the second one won't activate. So we have about triple disruption. Ua lost preemptively if they were to summon from the extra deck, which the Diabel does do. Okay, and we have to activate it while we control no cards, otherwise it's no good. Twin Twister, discarding Veiler to wipe out the Conquistador, thus dropping us down to double disruption. Terror Top activating, searching for the Take Tomborg. Take Tomborg does not activate. Had it activated, the Diabel would have flipped the entire field face down. Uh-oh. Mirage Stalio has been declared with the Black Goat Laughs. We Little Knight instead, which does not activate on summon. Oh my gosh, we're screwed. Oh no. Good enough that she's not too little, big enough to take out a toy soldier, that is. Conquistador is going to allow us to chain the Little Knight. Sure, this doesn't do anything. It's just going to come back in the end phase. I am concerned for Shelmy. This is not a good situation. Skill drain on top of this. Toy box is going to allow us to chain to it to banish the Diabel away. The Diabel is going to send the Eldlich to summon a Silvera from the extra deck, which could possibly lead... Oh, no, what the heck? A Mortal Dragon? What the... A Mortal Dragon is here. During your main phase, you could send any zombie from your deck to the grave. Uh-oh. So that's not the disruption part of her. We did have the disruption part, but on our own turn, we have Mortal Dragon instead. Send for the deck an Eldlich Golden Lord. We do want to finger that Golden Lord. Yes, before it adds back summons as a 3,500 attack. Get that trash out of here. Now, whatever we top deck into, having to face off against a skill drain, that is a big problem. As the toy soldier searches for the Sylvie. Sylvie on some... Oh my goodness. X-Traeger, your deck is nuts. 60 cards. White Forest, Azamina, Toys, Eldlich... Zombie shenanigans, Silhouette Rabbit also in this deck, setting up into the back row of Conquistador. Wait, you're an Eldlich monster? What the heck is that? LZ, send to search for an LZ Azamina toy tank, activate to Reborn. As we now make a Rosella. Rosella putting us at 6,500, search our deck for a Rusia, special summon Azamina, making a Baron to floor, 7,000, summon Rusia in attack position, and wham bam, thank you ma'am from there. Damn. Shelmy, I still immensely appreciate you for bringing Sal Mangreat to the event. And X-Traeger, holy moly, your deck is crazy weird, and I love it.